Hi, Left-Handed Chef here. Today we're going to be cooking a little grilled chicken pasta and with some vegetables, fresh mozzarella. We're going to make a little pesto sauce. I have my water on already for my pasta. I have my grill pan on ready for my chicken. I went ahead and pre-cut some vegetables. So I pre-cut my onions. I pre-cut my squash. Got my garlic ready to go for my pesto sauce. I'm using almonds in the pesto sauce. And we're ready to go. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get the chicken ready. And all we're going to do here is we're going to keep it really simple with salt and pepper. And a little bit of oil. Let's go right there. There we go. And I'll grab my tongs. And put that on there. Then I'll salt the other side of it. And this way, you get less chicken on your hands. And that's very helpful because you don't want to have cross-contamination. So you don't want to get anybody sick. Now, the pasta's ready to go. So go in with a little pasta. And this pasta will take about 7 to 8 minutes. And I like to cook a little bit more than I need. That way I have some for dinner, and then I have some for lunch tomorrow as well. Make sure you stir that because pasta will stick. After a while, you're good to go. Now, I got all my vegetables ready. So let's make the pesto sauce while everything else is going on. So I got my basil in here. Now I'll go in with my garlic, about 3 cloves. And the basil, what I did is I bought those planted ones. They're cheaper and you get more basil on them. Plus, if they continue to grow at least one more time, you get a little bit more use out of them. So I like to use that. So put my almonds in here. And just to stretch it out a little bit, I'm going to go in with a little bit of parsley. 1 bunch of Italian flat leaf parsley. And just make sure you're watching everything. If you can't watch everything, do one thing at a time. I'm trying not to overload you too much. But the key is you want to try to multitask to the best of your ability. If you can't do that, then do one thing at a time. You can cook the pasta ahead of time. You can grill the chicken ahead of time as well. You can make the pesto sauce ahead of time. I'm not doing any cheese in here. I'm going in with a little bit of oil. About a teaspoon of salt and about a half teaspoon of pepper. And so I'll go in here, put my lid on, and pulse it. And you want to get it nice and fine. If you don't have a Cuisinart, you can use a blender. And if you don't have either one, I would recommend getting one. You can get a cheap food processor for 30, 40 bucks. These are a little bit more expensive. All right, so scrape your sides down, turn it back on, and we'll drizzle a little bit of olive oil in here, and just drizzle it. You don't want too much because it's going to be your sauce. You want it to be thin, but not too thin. And then now we'll check for the consistency and the taste. And I want to go a little bit thinner. Very good. Going with a little bit of honey. Not a lot, but just enough to kind of sweeten it up a bit, but not too sweet. So turn it back on. Go with a little bit more oil. And then we should be right where we need to be. And yes, that's where you want to be. So set this off to the side. Check your pasta. Chicken is looking good. All right. And put everything off to the side. So now we got our pasta cooking, the chicken's going well, and we're looking really good here. So we're gonna finish this stuff off, and then we'll come back and we'll finish the dish. Welcome back. So pulled off the pasta. It's ready to go. Strained it. It's ready to go. Got the pan on to cook the pesto. Well, so I made the basil sauce. That's ready to go. The vegetables are ready to go. The chicken is almost there. Flip it over one more time. We should be ready by the time we're done cooking everything else. So as this gets a little bit hot right here, we're going to go in with a little bit of oil. Put that over there for now. And what you want to do is just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. And so I want to go in with the onions. And then just get a little bit of color on that. Then next, the carrots. And just push it around. Or you can even, if you can saute. And if you don't know how to do that, just practice with some dried beans or some ice. That's how I did it back 27 years ago. Just to sit there, put a little bit of ice in the bottom or dried beans. And what you're trying to do is you want to go all the way to the end, and then you're bringing it back. And saute means to jump. So go in with a little salt and pepper. All right. Let that continue to cook for a little bit. Then we'll go in with the squash. You want to saute that, going with a little bit, pinch more salt. A little crushed red pepper. Remember, spice makes everything nice. It doesn't always have to be spicy. I have a few extra tomatoes left over. I'm going to put those in there. And what those do is they'll pop a little bit and create a little bit of liquid in there as well. So that's what we're going to be able to do. We'll turn the oven on 350 because we're going to bake this pasta with a little bit of mozzarella on top. Stir up your vegetables. We get some nice color. You don't want to burn everything, so keep an eye on it. If you have to, turn it down. Be very careful when you're first sauteing. You don't want to burn anything. You just want to get nice, crispy, and golden brown. All right, we'll put the chicken over here to rest. Now, we'll cut the chicken. If you're a little underdone here, you're going to bake the pasta. It's okay. Chicken is right on time. And just cut the chicken. And we're going to place that in the dish. Wash your hands. Then turn it off. Now we're going to go in with the basil sauce. And the pasta on top of that. Watch out when you make a little mess. Make sure you pick it up, clean as you go. That's how I like to do. Because who likes a big mess when everything is over? So now that it's turned off, grab your wooden spoon and just mix it up. And you can go in with as much as you want or as little as you want. I'm going to go in with a little bit more. I like a lot of sauce. And then you end up with something like this. So now we're going to go in a bowl and make sure it's an oven safe bowl. Because you don't want it to break on you when you put it in the oven. After you just spent all this time making this delicious food, to have a break on you would be not so good. So, get the last little bit in here. And then we're going to put some fresh mozzarella on top. like so. Like that. And then we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to bake it for about 4 minutes. Just enough to melt the cheese. And you want to get, maybe if you want to go a little bit longer or a little bit higher if you want to get a little bit color. All right, let's pull the pasta out of the oven now. And, oh man. I did broil it a little bit. So I'll get a little bit of golden brown on top. And that cheese just melted into the pasta. And so now we'll take a bite and see how it is. And make sure I don't burn my mouth. A nice meal within 30 minutes. Fresh. You have leftovers if you need it. And that's all we have for today. So like and subscribe. And thank you for coming to The Left-Handed Chef.